All right, so today we're going to kind of go on a deep dive, into something you might not expect.
Okay.
UK student visa interviews.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, our source for this is actually kind of fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It's this mock interview on YouTube
Oh, interesting.
from Meridian Overseas Education Consultant.
Okay.
And they basically help students with, the whole visa application process.
Gotcha.
But this video, it's like a sneak peek behind the curtain,
Right.
We're not just, going over the rules, but
Yeah.
we get to see like the human side of it.
Yeah.
Like, how does the interviewer act? What are they really looking for?
Interesting.
You ready to kind of like decode this with me?
Absolutely. I think you'll be surprised by how subtle some of those interview tactics can be.
Yeah, and the first thing that like jumped out at me
Mm-hmm.
was the casual chit chat at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
The interviewer asks the applicant about her journey,
Right.
if she's planning to do some sightseeing afterwards. It almost feels like, a friendly chat,
Yeah.
not this like high stakes interview.
Right.
So what's the strategy there?
Well, it's all about putting the applicant at ease.
Okay.
And you're right. It is a very deliberate strategy.
Oh, wow.
When people are relaxed, they tend to be more genuine.
Right. Mhm.
Visa officers are trained to pick up on subtle cues,
Right.
inconsistencies.
Oh.
So a relaxed atmosphere
Yeah.
really helps them get a truer sense of, who the applicant is
Okay.
and whether their intentions, align with the visa requirements.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider the pressure these applicants are under.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, did you catch that this applicant traveled 5 hours by train and cab just to get to this interview?
Oh, wow.
Talk about dedication.
That's a great observation. And it's not just about showing up.
Yeah.
It's about showing commitment.
Right.
Remember, visa officers are always looking for signs that an applicant truly intends to study
Okay.
and then return home. So this kind of commitment can really help alleviate concerns about someone, overstaying their visa.
Wow. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah,
It really adds another layer to something as simple as showing up on time.
right.
Okay, so then they dive into her academic record. And she mentions some pretty stellar scores.
Okay.
A 96 in English,
Wow.
a 93 in math.
That's impressive.
It seems like she's got the brains.
Yeah.
But are grades like the main thing they're looking for?
Good grades are definitely a strong foundation.
Okay,
But, they're only one piece of the puzzle.
gotcha.
What's equally important is, understanding the applicant's motivations,
Okay.
their preparedness for studying in the UK.
Right.
They want to see the whole picture,
Yeah.
not just the academic transcript.
So it's not enough to just be brilliant.
Right.
You need to have a good reason for wanting to study in the UK in the first place.
Exactly.
So what did you think of how this applicant explained her goals?
I think she did a really good job connecting her chosen program to her long-term career aspirations.
Yep.
She explains how parents in India, place a high value on English and math skills.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to start a tutoring company back home.
Right.
By tying her studies to this specific goal,
Yeah.
it shows that her intentions are genuine,
Right.
well thought out.
And I noticed she even names specific modules. She's interested in like customer insight,
Well,
marketing, and she mentions how she's drawn to the facilities at the University of Worcester. Mm-hmm. It shows she's done her homework
Absolutely.
and is genuinely excited about the program.
Exactly. And that level of detail is crucial
Okay.
by naming specific modules and referencing the university's facilities.
Right.
She demonstrates that she's gone beyond superficial research,
Okay.
has a genuine interest in the program.
Gotcha.
This helps her stand out from applicants who might be applying to multiple universities without really understanding what each one offers.
It's so smart. It's like showing them you're not just picking a random university.
Right.
You've carefully chosen this one for very specific reasons.
Precisely. And that level of intentionality can go a long way in convincing a visa officer that your reasons for studying in the UK are legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about the academics.
Right.
They also want to know you can handle the financial side of things, right?
Right. And she doesn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
She clearly outlines her funding plan,
Okay.
mentions her parents' savings, confirms she has enough to cover both tuition fees and living expenses.
That's a critical part of the application.
Yeah.
Demonstrating financial preparedness is essential.
Right.
The interviewer needs to be assured that the applicant can support themselves financially throughout their studies without relying on unauthorized work or public funds.
And she even mentions knowing about the 20-hour per week work limit for students.
Right.
It seems like she's ticked every box so far.
It's all about demonstrating that you understand the rules and regulations associated with your visa.
Okay.
This level of awareness signals that you're likely to be a responsible student who respects the terms of their stay in the UK.
Right.
But there's another key element she addresses.
You mean her intention to return to India after her studies?
Exactly. That's absolutely vital for a student visa.
Oh, okay.
The applicant needs to convince the interviewer that their primary reason for being in the UK is to study, and that they have strong ties to their home country, making it highly likely they'll return after their studies.
It makes sense the UK wouldn't want to grant student visas to people who are actually trying to immigrate permanently.
Right.
But what about her experience volunteering in Nepal?
Yeah.
It seems like that's not directly related to her studies.
That's a really interesting point, and it's where things start to get even more nuanced.
Okay.
Let's unpack that in part 2.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back, and I'm really curious about this Nepal volunteering. It seems like a smart move to bring it up, even though it's not like directly tied to her studies.
It is.
What do you think?
It's a brilliant strategy, actually.
Oh, okay.
Think about it. She's already established her academic strength,
Right.
her, clear study plan, financial stability.
Okay.
Now she's adding another layer,
Right.
showcasing her personality and values.
It's like she's saying, hey, I'm not just a bookworm.
Yeah,
I'm a well-rounded person who cares about making a difference.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the way she talks about it is key.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't just list it as a bullet point on her resume. She talks about her passion for education,
Yeah.
the cultural insights she gained,
Right.
and how it solidified her desire to start her own tutoring company.
I remember she even mentioned the name of the school, Neil Bahar.
Oh, wow.
It makes the whole experience feel so much more real and believable.
Those specific details are what make a story come alive.
Yeah.
It shows she's not just reciting a rehearsed answer.
Right.
She's genuinely reflecting on a meaningful experience. And for a visa officer who's likely heard hundreds of similar stories, those personal touches can make all the difference.
Yeah, it's like she's inviting the interviewer into her world, letting them see her passion and commitment firsthand.
Yeah.
And it's all subtly woven into her narrative,
Right.
tying back to her goals,
Accurate.
highlighting her personal growth.
Precisely. It's strategic storytelling at its finest.
Okay.
And this ties into a broader point about what visa officers are looking for beyond the basic requirements.
Okay.
They want to see evidence of personal qualities,
Mm-hmm.
like adaptability initiative and a global perspective.
Okay.
Volunteering abroad can demonstrate all of these.
That's such a good point. It's like they're looking for those intangible qualities that suggest you'll thrive in a new environment.
Yeah.
Embrace new challenges, and contribute positively to the UK's diverse student community.
Exactly. And it's not just about ticking boxes.
Right.
They're trying to get a sense of who you are as a person
Okay.
and what you'll bring to the table. They want to see that you're someone who's likely to make the most of their time in the UK,
Okay.
both academically and personally.
So it's not just about what you know.
Right.
It's about who you are and how you present yourself.
Exactly. It's about showcasing your authentic self in a way that aligns with the visa requirements and the spirit of the program. This applicant does a great job of weaving together her academic achievements,
Right.
her career aspirations, and her personal experiences into a cohesive narrative that highlights her strengths
Yeah.
and demonstrates her commitment to her goals.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
from her stellar grades and well-defined study plan to her financial preparedness and intention to return home.
Right.
She seems to have all the bases covered.
Yeah.
And then she adds that extra layer of depth with her volunteering experience,
Right.
showcasing her personal growth and global perspective.
Exactly.
It's impressive how she managed to hit all the right notes.
From what we've seen in this mock interview, she's certainly presented a compelling case.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that this is just one example.
Right.
Every visa application is unique. There are countless factors that can influence a visa decision,
Right.
many of which are beyond the applicant's control.
That's true. We've focused on the things she could control, her preparation, her presentation, her story.
Yeah.
But what about the things she can't control?
Right.
What are some of those external factors that might come into play?
Well, there's the individual visa officer assigned to her case.
Okay.
Each officer brings their own experiences and interpretations to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are broader factors like current immigration trends,
Okay.
political climate, and even global events that might influence visa policies.
Right.
It's a complex system with a lot of moving parts.
That makes you realize that even with the best preparation in the world, there's still an element of unpredictability.
Absolutely.
It's like you're navigating a system that's constantly shifting and evolving.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because it raises a thought-provoking question for all of us.
You mean about how much control we actually have in situations like this?
Exactly.
And how do we prepare for the unknowns?
Exactly. And how do we make the most of what we can control while acknowledging the limitations of our influence?
Okay.
Let's explore that in part 3.
So we've seen how this applicant, expertly navigated this mock interview.
Right.
But as you pointed out, there's like a whole other layer of complexity, when it comes to the real world of like visa decisions.
Absolutely.
It's a bit humbling, right?
It is.
Knowing that even with like meticulous preparation, some things are simply beyond your control.
It's a great point. And it reminds us that life in many ways is about managing expectations. You could do everything right, ace the interview, have a flawless application, and still face unforeseen obstacles.
Yeah.
It's not about eliminating uncertainty entirely, but learning to navigate it with resilience and adaptability.
So how can someone applying for a UK student visa, or really anyone facing a similar high-stakes situation, like how can they approach those unknowns? What advice would you give based on like what we've unpacked today?
Well, preparation is still key, even if it doesn't guarantee a specific outcome.
Right.
Understanding the visa requirements, researching your chosen program, being able to articulate your motivations clearly. These are all within your control, and they lay a strong foundation.
It's like building a solid house.
Yeah.
Even if you know a storm might come along.
Right.
You can't control the weather.
Exactly.
But you can control how well you build.
Exactly. And beyond the practical preparations, cultivating the right mindset is essential.
Okay.
Being open to unexpected challenges, staying informed about any changes in policies or global events, and being willing to adapt your plans if necessary.
Right.
These are all part of navigating the unpredictable.
It's almost like that old saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
But maybe instead of worst, we should say unexpected.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not always about negative outcomes.
Right.
Sometimes the unexpected can lead to amazing opportunities you hadn't even considered.
Oh, wow.
The key is to stay curious, adaptable, and open to new possibilities.
This whole deep dive has been a fantastic reminder that knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
The more you understand about the systems you're navigating, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes your way.
Right.
Whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, or just someone facing a challenging situation, Knowing the rules of the game, anticipating potential obstacles, and staying flexible are invaluable skills.
And it's not just about achieving a specific goal.
Right.
It's about the personal growth that comes from embracing challenges, expanding your understanding of the world around you.
Yeah.
Each experience, whether it goes exactly as planned or throws you a curveball, adds to your toolbox of knowledge and resilience.
So the big takeaway for our listener today is this. Yes, there are always factors beyond your control.
Right.
But focus on what you can control. Do your research, be prepared, and stay adaptable.
Yeah.
And who knows, the unexpected might just lead you to an even better destination than you initially imagined.
Beautifully put. And remember, even if the outcome isn't what you hoped for, the journey itself can be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
You learn, you grow, you become more resilient.
That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting that visa, it's about what you gain along the way.
Exactly.
So to our listener, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the things that fascinate you. The knowledge you gain will always be valuable no matter where life takes you.
Until next time, happy learning.